Cage 64 on the 23rd of November at Aino Areena Järvenpää. Live on pay-per-view at cage.fi. Riku the Discipline Urholin is one of the most feared grapplers in Europe. Being the European no-gi champion, he's capable of finishing anybody on the ground. Konrad Kossakowski is the Polish definition of a powerhouse. Strong as a bull, athletic, fearless and knockout hungry, Kossakowski is a lot to handle inside the cage. Will the Discipline be able to drag his opponent to his kingdom on the ground? Or will Kossakowski deliver another split-second knockout? Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Riku Urholin versus Konrad Kossakowski.
Through the blue corner, Konrad Kossakowski.
Ja nie ulegam groźbom, naprzeciw, ty sam słyszysz minę, wziął cię powiesił. Ponad moje siły, nic mnie nie ogranicza. Mam pierdolony upór, jebaną wolę życia. Wciąż na ulicach, posłuchaj co ci powiem. Zrób listę za i przeciw, spójrz głowę w ciszy odejdź. Przecieram oczy i idę przez to życie. Rzeczywistość to sucha, witamy się o świcie. Patrzysz w moje oczy, widzisz pieprzoną pewność. Dziś mogę grać o wszystko, lecz nie wszystko mi jedno. Wykrywasz lub przykrywasz, trzeciego wyjścia nie ma.
Konrad Kossakowski now making his way to the cage, representing Jiu-jutsu, Poland, if I pronounced that right. I'm very doubtful that I have, but he is an absolute powerhouse. Very, very strong fighter. Won his first match, by way of punches in the first round. Strong as a bull. Looks for that knockout, and he's got underrated kicks here.
I have to say, pound for pound, he is the strongest athlete I've ever shaken hands with. He feels like he's made of stone. I know he looks like that, but a lot of guys do. A lot of guys have the muscular, athletic build, but until you touch them in some shape or form, you can't feel the strength and power that they have. Can he grapple technically with Riku Urholin? No, he cannot.
There's not a chance.
No. But he hits hard. He has a double XL glove, which is one of the, I think is only non-heavyweight to I've ever seen use that here at Cage. And he's built like an athletic brick wall. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, his physique obviously quite impressive, and you can tell that not only is he physically strong, he's also fast. You get that impression. Perhaps not from that jog, but from seeing him in motion as we have here tonight, as he's made his way around the building on occasion. I'm expecting that he will be the superior athlete here tonight. However, Riku Urholin, from a technique perspective, as a grappler, will far outshine him there.
To the red corner, Riku Urholin.
Now Riku Urholin making his way to the cage for this light heavyweight bout. Looking to pick up another victory here tonight at Cage and continue his winning streak. Previously in his last two bouts, he took on Delmar Silva and Nikolai Giska and won both of those fights in the first round. As we know, he's a very, very talented grappler. He's a no-gi European champion. He's an absolute beast of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter with excellent top control and excellent against the cage. Obviously, he trains with his brother, Urholin, who's also a very, very talented grappler.
I'm anticipating that from a pure skill and technique perspective as a grappler, he will have a very, very stark advantage. Let's see how he's able to deal with the athleticism, the power, the speed of his opponent, Konrad Kossakowski, excuse me.
And if you compare Urholin and Kossakowski physically, like how they look, it's, of course, Kossakowski looks like a track and field / bodybuilder. and Riku doesn't have the most impressive physical build, but don't get me wrong, he is strong as a bull, and his top control is top notch. Like once you feel the pressure when level of Riku Urholin's grappler grabs you, like you will know you are in the wrong cage.
Absolutely. Yeah, I refuse to make any comparisons on Riku Urholin's physique from here on out, because I have seen what he did to the likes of Delmar Silva firsthand, right here, cage side. The physique inconsequential from my perspective. But let us look at the tail of the tape. We do see that there is a height advantage in favor of Kossakowski, and we do see that he has a reach advantage. If you want to compare the physiques, I'll let you do that. What I see here is an excellent athlete with, the ability to finish fights, and then I see a tremendous tactician with a high level of skill and a high level of experience in grappling in Riku Urholin.
I couldn't agree more.
In the blue corner, fighter with a professional record of 1 win and 1 loss, weighing 92.8 kilos, fighting out of Poland, Konrad Kossakowski!
Moje siły, przeżyję nawet w piekle i czuję się dziś lepiej niż kiedykolwiek przedtem. Chwile zwątpienia, ja do nich już nie wracam. Tak samo do pomysłu, by własne życie skracać.
And in the red corner, Finnish fighter with a professional record of 3 wins and 2 losses, weighing 93 kilos, fighting out of Pori, Finland, Riku, the Discipline Urholin!
For what mentions we have made of the tremendous physique and athleticism of Konrad Kossakowski, it's worth noting that he's never been out of the first round. I do wonder, how well conditioned he is. I don't suspect he'll have any trouble there, but if he is as explosive, as his physique indicates, perhaps a slower paced, longer bout will favor Riku Urholin when it comes to the amount of energy that needs to be expended by a defender in a grappling heavy exchange.
And adding to that, if someone like Urholin gets a hold of you and gets top position, it doesn't matter how good your cardio is. If he can wear on you and use the pressure and the grappling acumen he has, it's exhausting to be on the bottom of that.
Absolutely. And he's pumping that jab now into Riku Urholin's face, backing him up a little, and he cracked him with that right hand. Riku Urholin needs to be very, very mindful of the striking acumen here of Konrad Kossakowski. Urholin's got power, in his strikes, but I think he needs to do what he can to get this fight to the ground, because I'm noticing that there is a clear differential between the two when it comes to the striking. Very, very hard shots here from Kossakowski.
Yeah, he's throwing solid combinations, but great entry by Urholin. Gets the body lock,
takes his back.
Takes the back.
Both hooks in now, looking to flatten him out. No, looking to tee off and maybe find that neck from the back.
And I think he's underneath the neck already.
They're dry, and he's got that so deep.
That's tight.
He will tap here, or he will go out, and he has tapped.
Beautiful work by Riku Urholin. One opportunity, one mistake from Konrad Kossakowski, and Riku Urholin.
He was out.
Yeah, he was out. Wow. One mistake. One mistake by Kossakowski, one opportunity for Riku Urholin, and he gets the rear naked choke. That's the level of
Riku Urholin, who is now beginning to put together all the pieces in order to be a more complete mixed martial artist.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 7th fight of the night ends after 1 minute and 9 seconds of the first round. Winner by rear naked choke, Riku the Discipline Urholin!
There you have it. Excellent performance from Riku Urholin, who battled early adversity by way of the strikes from Kossakowski and eventually put his acumen to work to get that rear naked choke victory.
And quickly about Urholin's striking, I have to say, even though you don't see him punching a lot, but you can see he has developed a lot with the distancing and how calm he is under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Riku, onneksi olkoon, erittäin hieno voitto.
Kiitos paljon.
Siinä ehti minuutissa ja 9 sekunnissa tapahtuu aika paljon.
Mä luulen, että toi valmennustiimi saattoi huolestua, kun ainakin itsellä näkyy sen verran tähtiä, että jos se valittu ton ulkopuolelle, niin toi hyvä, että saatiin äijä kenttää.
Niin, silmäkulmassa näkyy pieni, tai tuossa poskella pieni vekki, mutta aika nopeasti saat kellautettua sitten, kun pääsit käsiksi mieheen, niin ympäri.
Kyllä. Se joskus semmonen ajatus tulee, että olisi kiva lyödä, mutta sit kun mua lyödä, niin ei se olekaan niin hauskaa enää. Niin sit pelkuritaktiikka ja äijä vaan taputtaa, niin, tai unil vissiin se meni.
Se oli voittoisa taktiikka, onneksi olkoon.
Kiitos paljon.
Riku Urholin!
All right, Alexi.
Kiitos.
Oh. Malema last.
Missä on meidän team porilaisia joka tapauksessa. Sitten tänään myöhemmin uransa viimeisen ottelu ottelee Suvi Salmimies, niin sitten tää vitu halli katto räjähtää, kun Suvi tulee häkkiin, eiks vaan? Yes, kiitos.
Riku Urholin!
All right, perhaps now, Alexi, you can tell me what had you chuckling over here about what Riku Urholin had to say.
Yeah, Riku always said that his coaching team was probably a bit worried, as he was when he was getting punched. And he said he had the thought it would be really nice to throw a strike back, but then he, in his own words, he cowered out, took him down, and finished him with a choke. So that's what I was laughing about. And he also said tonight in the co-main event, his teammate Suvi Salmi is making the walk for the final time, asking for the crowd to really be behind the Finnish MMA legend Suvi Salmi.
Absolutely beautiful. Excellent performance by him again, and cannot wait to see Suvi Salmi make that final walk.
Cage 64 on the 23rd of November at Aino Areena, Järvenpää. Live on pay-per-view at cage.fi.